Hi, this is Lisa.
And I'm Denise, and welcome to the Outback Sisters. Okay, today we thought we would look at Ada Lovelace,
Yeah,
also known as the Enchantress of Numbers.
I've got to admit, I didn't know much about this person. The name was familiar, but when I read what Denise had researched, I found that I actually know a lot about the people around her at the time. So it was really quite interesting to read about other people. And yeah, so I'll go ahead and start.
Let's go.
Okay, Ada Lovelace was born in Augusta Ada Byron on December 10, 1815, in London, England. That's how I knew her, through Byron. Ada Lovelace was the only legitimate child of the famous poet Lord Byron and his wife Annabella Milbank. Her parents separated shortly after her birth, and Ada never knew her father, who left England and died in Greece when she was just 8 years old.
Lovelace was often ill, beginning in early childhood. At the age of 8, she experienced headaches that obscured her vision. In June 1829, she was paralysed after a bout of measles. In June year, she was subject to continuous bed rest for nearly a year, something which may have extended her period of disability. By 1831, she was able to walk with crutches.
Even though she was born in an era where women's roles were largely confined to domestic spheres, Lovelace's intellectual curiosity and mathematical prowess allowed her to break barriers and leave an indelible mark on the history of computing. Despite the illness, she developed her mathematical and technical skills.
She was raised by her mother and she was encouraged to pursue an education in mathematics and science subjects. These subjects that were considered really, really unconventional for women of the time. Annabella Milbank, herself a mathematician, was determined to prevent Ada from inheriting what she perceived as her father's volatile and poetic temperament.
It's funny, just off that a little bit, it's funny how people who have that little arty side to them often have that kind of a bit of torment involved in their lives, alcoholism, mental health problems.
Mental
And I
health
feel like,
problems, yeah.
yeah, that with that real talent, there's a price to pay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
So, yeah, Ada's education was rigorous and comprehensive. She was tutored by some of the most prominent intellectuals of her time, including the mathematician logician Augustus de Morgan, who was the first professor of mathematics at the University of London. Under De Morgan's guidance, Ada developed a deep understanding of mathematics and logic, which would later prove invaluable in her work with Charles Babbage.
Other acquaintances included the scientist Andrew Cross, Sir David Brewster, Charles Wheatstone, Michael Faraday, and the author Charles Dickens. She was presented at court at the age of 17. Ada's life took a significant turn when in 1833, at the old age of 18, she was introduced to Charles Babbage, the father of computers, and Mary Somerville, her tutor, introduced them.
Babbage, a mathematician and inventor, were working on the revolutionary project known as the analytical engine, a mechanical general purpose computer that was designed to perform complex calculations. Do you reckon that was the first computer, our first calculator?
I reckon so.
Ada, probably. Ada was immediately captivated by Babbage's ideas and became deeply involved in his work. But on the 8th of July, 1835, she married William the Eighth, Baron King, becoming Lady King. You're a Lady King. It just sounds funny. The King is your last name, you know what I mean? They had 3 children.
In 1842, Ada was asked to translate an article written by the Italian mathematician and engineer Luigi Federico Menabrea about Babbage's analytical engine. The article, titled Notions sur la machine analytique de Charles Babbage, was originally published in French Ada not only translated the article into English, but also added her own extensive notes and annotations, which were 3 times longer than the original text. These notes, published in 1843, are considered one of the most important documents in the history of computing.
Sounds like she did a lot more of the work than Babbage might have done.
Yeah.
The
Well, she did
design
her
and
fair
the
share.
well, definitely, and short of stories like this, you probably wouldn't have heard much about her.
Yeah, exactly.
The design and ideas behind Babbage's analytical engine laid the foundation for development in computing. It was designed to be a mechanical, general-purpose computer capable of performing complex calculations. Babbage's vision for the analytical engine includes features such as arithmetic, logic unit, control flow in the form of conditional branching, and loops and memory making it a precursor to modern computers. Ada Lovelace, who worked closely with Babbage, made significant contributions to the analytical engine. In 1942, she translated this article, which we mentioned earlier, about is that right?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Sorry, about the machine and added extensive notes of her own, including algorithms for the analytical engine to compute Bernoulli's numbers. This algorithm is considered the first example of a computer program, making Ada Lovelace arguably the world's first computer programmer.
Funny, the words aren't hard, but we seem to be tripping over them.
No, I think they're long.
Despite the groundbreaking nature of the analytical engine, it was not completed during Babbage's lifetime. However, the concepts and ideas behind it laid the foundation for future developments in computing.
In her notes, Ada also made several profound observations about the potential of the analytical engine. She realized that the mechanic could be used for more than just numerical calculation. She speculated that the engine could manipulate symbols and perform tasks related to music and art, science. She wrote the analytical engine leaves algebra patterns. Sorry, I've just got to move something on my computer. Algebraic patterns, just as the jacquard loom weaves flowers and leaves. This visionary insight laid the foundation for the modern concept of computing as a versatile and powerful tool.
Despite her groundbreaking work, Ada Lovelace's contributions to computing were not fully recognised during her lifetime. Indeed, Ada's work remained largely unknown until the mid-20th century, when her notes were rediscovered and her contributions were finally acknowledged.
Ada Lovelace's legacy extends far beyond her role as the first computer programmer. She's celebrated as a symbol of women's potential in the field of science, terminology, engineering, and mathematics. Her life and work have inspired countless women to pursue careers in these traditional male-dominated disciplines. In recognition of her contribution, the United States Department of Defense named a computer language Ada in her honor in 1980. Lovelace died at the age of 36 on 27th of November in 1842 from uterine cancer. The illness lasted 7 months. She was buried at her request next to her father at the Church of St. Mary's Magdalene in Hucknall, Nottinghamshire. How sad and how young, 36.
So short a life for such a brilliant lady.
And she got all into it, though.
Yeah. More in her little life than a lot of people do in their whole life.
And we were just saying that there was that thing about women weren't recognised, and that even says that she wasn't recognised till later on about all the work she'd done in her career.
I think we would be surprised at how many women not only contributed but did the main part of the work. And were not recognised for their contributions to
That's right.
the big discovery, because they
Yeah,
were only women. What would
that's
they
right. And they
know?
were supposed to be looking after the kids or keeping the house, and half the time they were
Yeah,
doing all the notes and helping with the experiments. That to me is a contribution to the science or whatever they were doing.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so we're hoping that's something we do hope to do, is to get into more of these women that are a little under recognized and hard, ones that aren't that common. We'll still come up across women that are known,
pretty well
but
known.
yeah, that's right. But we're hoping to find ones that people haven't heard of, and in various areas of the channel.
I mean, especially things like science, which was
Yeah,
very male. And
it still is really,
yeah,
because I think I heard lately that they were really pushing to get in Australia children, females, sorry, into the sciences, not just the arts,
of
because women can do it as easily as a guy,
course
but
they
it's
can.
not as attractive, I suppose, unless you are really, really want to do it. So you've got to
It's
make it
not
attractive.
as it's not as cute.
No,
It's
no, it's
not
probably
cute.
not like being a doctor. Although there's a lot of science in doctoring too, so
Yeah,
it does come under
thinking
it as
more
well.
like um I don't like to say women go into the caring roles, but I
Mm.
do think they go more into the artistic roles.
Yeah,
Things like,
writing.
well, like teaching, like
Yeah,
writing,
yeah,
like poetry, painting, and I know men do them too. I'm not being so totally uh,
yeah,
sexist in this, but I do
yeah,
think that women kind of try to do the pretty things, and
yeah,
of course, men do the acknowledge more for doing the
yeah,
sciences.
yeah. That's right.
Whereas I think the women should be acknowledged, men should be acknowledged for their art, because let's face it, there are some really awesome male artists and teachers
Oh
and
yeah.
nurses
I was
and whatever.
funny you
But
should mention that. I was listening. There was a song, and you probably remember it. Most people would probably remember it. Uh, Don McLean sang about Vincent Van Gogh,
yep, yep.
and I believe it's Van Gogh. But anyway, I'm going to say Van Gogh. And just that artistic part of him that was so beautiful, and yet he was unrecognized too, long after his death. So,
Mm,
it's not even the women that suffered that, I'm afraid.
no,
And again,
no.
it's that mental illness and the thing that creeps into artistic people's lives.
The
Yeah, and
madness,
circumstance.
the
Yeah,
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 yeah.
that
A lot of
high
them has been that
prestige.
descent into madness. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they'll make this absolute most beautiful picture. And you think, well, from the madness came something so beautiful. Yeah. Yeah.
Of course,
Anyway,
we call her
right.
madness, but we don't know what God,
I mean,
back
he would have
then.
done taken his own life. I'm only using him as an example because I can't offhand think of a woman that has done that. And I'm sure there is. But that he suffered for a long time with alcoholism
Yeah.
and cutting himself off from society. He was also hurting himself because didn't he cut off his ear? I think he cut off his ear. And
Mm,
yeah, so already showing nowadays it would be picked straight away
yep.
and he would
Yep.
have been helped. But because he came from an era that he did, it was hidden and he hid himself away too.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, very sad. I love that
Yep.
song, by the way.
Yeah. Okay, then. Well,
Alrighty.
we hope you enjoyed that and our little
Yes,
deviation. But anyway,
yes. We'll be doing
okay.
women in different areas, won't we, Denise? We'll be doing society, history, war. We're
Yep.
doing women in crime. We're doing just the sciences. So we're going to try to be as diverse as life is, in these areas and bring a lot of different
And
women to the
every
fore.
every part of life has women. Every
Yes,
there is nothing that is purely male. So,
no, that's right.
we can look
Yeah,
into some less known women who have done things
but that's what we
that
want
are
to do too. Yeah,
accredited for much. Yeah.
yeah. And
All
we'd
right.
like to bring out the Australian women since we're from
Mm,
Australia. But yeah, it won't be just Australian, as you can see, it's from all over.
yep.
Okay,
All righty.
excellent.
Catch
All
you
right
next
then,
time.
I tell see you on the. Hi, we just wanted to add a certain amount of information about Charles Babbage, the father of the computer. Charles Babbage was born in 1791 and died in 1871. An English mathematician, inventor, and mechanical engineer, widely recognized as the father of the computer. His groundbreaking work laid the foundation for the development of the modern computing machines. Babbage is best known for designing the difference engine and the analytical engine, two innovative devices that embodied the principles of computation. The difference engine, conceptualized in 1820, was intended to automate the process of calculating and mathematical tables. Although never completed in his lifetime due to technical and financial constraints, it showcased the potential of mechanical computation.
The analytical engine, conceived in the 1830s, was even more ambitious. It included key features of modern computers, such as arithmetic logic unit, memory, and a programmable system using punched cards. This visionary design demonstrated Babbage's understanding of the importance of automation and programmability in computation. Despite his inventions never being fully realised during his lifetime, his ideas were ahead of their time. His work influenced later scientists and inventors, including Ada Lovelace, who is often considered the first computer programmer for her work on the algorithms for the analytical engine. Charles Babbage's contributions to science and technology extend far beyond computing. He was a polymath who made advancements in areas such as cryptography, economics, and industrial efficiency. His visionary ideas continue to inspire and remind us of the enduring power of innovation.
Yeah, we just
Okay.
wanted to add that because even though she was very good and had done such a lot of work, we thought it was important to add his contribution. Unlike if Amanda had written, they'd forgotten about adding the check.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Definitely.
we wanted to be fair. All right,
Okay.
nice seeing you all. See you
Bye.
soon. Bye.